Okay, today we arrive in Greece, and it's one of those very nice countries that actually I used to stay there, especially in a vacation. I used to go there for 2 or 3 months in the summer and spend my vacation there. I have family there, so I see a few things that I want to talk about here, and especially with this population going down and why and how, and most importantly, how actually it feels. I think it's gonna make a pretty interesting video. If you didn't know, Greece, it's in south of the Europe. You can see it right here, and most of the country is pretty much say a mountain, I would say, with some flat areas, but most of them they are in a mountain. So everything it's in the mountains, everybody knows, is very, very nice. You have in the south here Mediterranean Sea, and here Aegean Sea, which is pretty much the best you can find anywhere in the world. Now let's go back to our population here. Greece right now is just under 10 million people, and you can see by this graph used to be in a much better position than it finds themselves today, and the population already start to decline. Now let's go back a bit in the history. In 1955 Greece was just a bit shy of 8 million people, with yearly change of 66,000, and the migration was on minus. So back in 1955 migration still was on the minus. The median age was back then 26 years old, and the fertility rate 2.42, so a very good one for the population replacement, a very healthy one, I would say. Now the urban population was 55%. Like I say, Greece is a very nice country. You might actually do not want to live in an urban center here, because you have something, let's say a house on the beach or someone close to that, even in the mountains. It's still 10 times better than any city you can find anywhere in the world. So that's I can understand this number. But now in this recent history, you're gonna see that changing. And back then, the Greece was in a 50th place on the ranked population in the world. Now 2025, fast forward, the population is under 10 million people, so they actually increased the population by 2 million. But you can see here the peak of the population was in 2010, when they are just a bit over 11 million people. But something very important here, look at those graphics about migration. They especially in 2024, 2023 and 2022, so in the pandemic years, a lot of them just leave the country, and from the rest of the history they usually have a good migration. They have on the plus, not that many, I would say, insane number, but let's say a decent one for the Greece population. But also, even with those migrants here, you can see, let's say from 1990s, you can see this the native population is still growing above the migration, but with time you can see they change the tide. So in 2020 and 2010 you're gonna see a bit more native population than migration. But then after 2015, I think that's the year, I don't remember exactly, when those austerity measures starts to implemented very hard on Greece, and they have a huge impact on the population. And we can see here just pretty much everyone, I say everyone left, but everything is on minus. Even the population, migrants, even a native population, everything got backwards, let's say. And now in 2025, just under 10 million people, with a yearly change of over 1%, which is huge to lose 1% of the population in just 1 year, and every year you're gonna lose that, and who knows, maybe even increase. Here in 2024 was 1.9, in 2023 1.63, 2022 1.52. So you can see the pandemic really hit Greece very hard. And also the median age now is 46 years old, so 20 years more than used to be in 1955. So you can see, everybody knows, in those South European countries the population goes much older than the other countries, and also much faster on the overall fertility rate 1.34. It's way less than what do you need for a population replacement. So that's, I don't know, that cannot be fixed 100% for this century. There's no way they're gonna change that. And a lot of them actually move from the countryside to the urban center, which is almost 90%, which is pretty much all the country live in some urban area. I was in Greece, so most of the cities, let's say all of the towns, I want to call it, they are still small, but they count as a population, an urban population, but still they keep that very nice feeling about living in South Europe, which is pretty much every time, most of the time, sunny and a good weather. So that's actually a huge impact, I would say. So not that huge of a difference, but still not that good as used to be to live in the countryside, in my opinion. Now, the Greece global ranking now is 95, so almost double than it used to be in 1955. Due to, you can see those other countries got increase in population. Greece, you can say they stay a bit stable from 1955 to 2025. They have a bit of increase, but now let's look in the future. Let's see how they looks. And of course, those numbers, as always, I want to mention it. I don't think they're not exactly the live when they say there's going to be some differences, but also all those numbers that declare, I still believe in every single country, especially like I say in socialist countries, the number that people actually going down, the population actually lose much faster. The people, it's much greater than they actually declare, for the reason that I explained in the other videos. Now, let's say 25 years from now, the Greece is going to be 8.8 million people. So they're all going to lose another million of their citizens. And the median age is going to be from 46 to 49.9, so almost 50 years old. So let's say in the last 100 years, they just double it, the amount of the median age people in their country. And the population, let's say from the 8 million to 9 million, is pretty much almost the same. But back then, 55% of the people live in the city, and in the 2050, 100%, we have 99.3, that's 100% of them, they're gonna live in the urban center area. So already see a huge change. Pretty much everybody live in a city or in a town. The population is twice as old, and the fertility rate, they say they're gonna pick up a bit, but not that much. I mean, those numbers, and they say the migration is gonna be on plus also. I don't think so, because 2025 they expect a plus migration, but you can see from the last few years also everything was a minus, and I don't think those numbers gonna actually change. I think those is gonna be again on the minus if those migrants actually end up in Greece. Let's say they have papers that they are now migrating in Greece. Probably they're gonna still move outside of Greece to find job in Western Europe. So again, it could be on the paper, but not in actual real life. And even with all those numbers, you're gonna see the Greece native population is still going down year after year, more and more. They're gonna still lose a lot, and a lot of people losing. Let's say 50,000 people declare, if we count those two in the country's population. Probably by 2050, you're gonna see under 8 million people, and which is the exact number that used to be 100 years ago. So they go back and forth for Greece, which is a huge impact, I think. And Greece used to be one of those countries we got the hardest attack on like I say, when the financial crisis hit, and I don't think they actually recover from that, especially when I think first time I was in Greece was in 1999. It was a whole different country than I used to. When I was there, I was in 2017, and in those from 1999 to 2017, I think I was 2 or 3 more times. Once when they have the Olympic Games in 2004, another time 2010 and 2015. And I remember 1999 and 2004 was much more different than it used to be when I saw the last time in 2017. Huge difference, especially in the population perception of the European Union and how the country should be run and how they used to be. And even actually you can feel it. And even there were, let's say, not that many less people, I would say, from 2000 to, it's pretty much the same, 2004, 2017, the country felt at least much more emptier to me in my last visit there. So that also is a huge impact, I would say. Now, 2050, we're gonna see the global rank is gonna be on 107, so already more than double than it used to be in 1955. But again, Greece didn't keep up with the other countries' population. But the problem is not one of those Greece they were overextended. But I think, like I say, in the 55, 96, 97. A lot of people have, they say here 2.4, 2.3. Everybody who I talk there, they usually have like 3-4 kids, so that's a huge amount of number. And most of those people that I talk there, they say they have relatives in Germany and USA. So a lot of them just leave the country in the 90s and early 2000. I remember that. And even 2017, when I was last time, they're still gonna say a lot of them they're gonna leave the country for from the US, specifically US, and a lot of them from Germany. So that you can see a change, because those people actually leave the country, but they still hold the citizenship, and they have actually a permanent resident, I would say, have a house in Greece. And I think the government, they still count them as they obviously count them as the citizens, but when you go there, it feels like much more empty, especially if you don't go in the at the peak of the tourism in the summer. You can go, let's say, in October or November. You're gonna see a much different picture there. Now, back to our things. Let's go with the life expectancy. With Greece is one of those countries, like I said, in Southern Europe, which I have a much greater life expectancy than pretty much the other countries on the rest of the world. 82 years old for both sexes, female 84.5 and males 79.5, so only 5 difference between females and males, so not that much. Infant mortality, it's 2.9, which is very good. Anything under 5 is very good, and anything under 3, very, very good. Death under 5 is also very good, 3.4, so they have a good healthcare system there. No issues with that. They have some problem, I think, with the water, especially in the summertime. If you live, I used to go here in the Crete island. There were some not major but small problems in this area, but pretty much around the country I don't think they have that much of an issue, especially now. Probably again in the summer, it's one of those southern European countries, but not insanely huge. Athens, the main city, which is 664,000 people, doesn't count the area around it, because if you count that, probably it's gonna go in a millions. So by this chart, you're gonna see no actually city declared, at least on the paper. They don't have one city with 1 million or more people in them. Like I say, most of the population right now live in the urban area, and very few of them living in a countryside. And if those have houses in the countryside, it's pretty much a vacation house. Now, for the future, how do I see Greece in the future? Well, not well, that's for sure. People are still living from there. Yeah, the country, it's a nice place to go on vacation. It's a nice place to actually live your life. But if you don't have a job, you don't have a good salary, all that goes out of the windows, because you cannot maintain not even a family, not even yourself, just with a nice picture on the beach. I mean, it's nice to stay there, but also you have to eat and improve your life over time. And now by the end of the century, Greece will continue to lose population if they don't make some measures like a very good housing system, a very good wages, a very good health provider is pretty good there. I don't think we'll have much issue with that, but they have all those I would say laws and rules that makes you poorer. And I don't know exactly how much they pay for electricity right now, but I don't think they're the cheapest in Europe, and also the fuel is expensive there. So you see already a lot of problems. And with the declining population and getting older, it's very hard to fix that, because anything who's born there and probably it's 20 years old, 25 by now, I think they looking outside for a better life, not from the inside. They're gonna pretty much leave the parents here, and they're gonna go back in a vacation, like I say, once or twice a year. And most of them, from what I understand there, especially in my case, what the people I talk with, a lot of them just live from the US. They pretty much, you can see a trend here, and I think it's going to accentuate in next 5-10 years. People are not going to go anymore, especially from the eastern part of the country and center, not going to go from the western countries, because all those, we talk about a few of them, there is not much into it, and pretty much everyone who wants to have what left from their lives, a better one, they're going to go for the United States of America 100%. And if the United States just lower their requirements, let's say for a green card, and make the immigration much easier, especially from the Europe, you're gonna see a lot of population just from Europe moving to USA, because there's no point to go elsewhere. The Western Europe is not like used to be. Canada, again, it's not like used to be. In other countries like Australia and New Zealand, we saw what's happened in pandemic, and we thought that one of those countries when democracy is pretty much on the top and freedom of individual. And in pandemic, we saw that that's actually exactly the opposite, and it's nothing have to do with the freedom. It's more like a control society. So the same thing happened also in Western Europe. So all those people here, I would say, from the Eastern Bloc, and even from the Italy, Greece, which wasn't part of the, say, Eastern Bloc from the Soviet Union, they will actually look forward to United States, and just gonna skip altogether the west of the Europe, because I don't think at least for their lifetimes, that's the most important to say, for their lifetimes, not next century, because you're not gonna be alive in the next century. For their lifetime, probably they have better chances in the United States than anywhere else in Europe. So yeah, that was the video about Greece and how I see it. Great place to make a vacation there, especially if you don't go in like I say, those peak months when the tourists are everywhere. If you go, let's say, after the kids start school, pretty much, that's kind of a benchmark here, after, let's say, half of the September, or go in October, and especially in the deep south here, like I said, like I was here in this island, in the Crete Island, much better experience than just go in the main season, let's say, in a peak of the season. Yeah, that was a video. If you are from Greece and you want to add something, or you want to say something about this video, you have the comment section there, or you can comment, and I'm going to try to respond to as many as I can.